Mobile home owners, what can you do to your home to immediately boost the value of your home when you're getting ready to sell? We'll talk about it in this episode. We're going to talk about exterior paint. Welcome back to That Mobile Home Show. My name is Nick. I am one of your co-hosts. I'm sitting next to Kesley. Kesley, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. We're here today to talk about lipstick and rouge. When we're talking about houses, what does lipstick and rouge mean?
That's the stuff that's easily changeable.
Yeah, so it's the makeup, the stuff that's easily changeable. So we think about paint like big projects, and we go, oh, this is a daunting thing. And is it worth it? Like, is it worth the hassle? Is it worth the money? So from a realtor's point of view, because you sell more of these than most people in the Northwest Valley, correct?
Yeah.
Cool.
The most.
The most. All right. So from a realtor's point of view, is it worth the hassle and the money for people to paint the exterior of their homes before they sell?
All right. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
If we were going to go on a date and I put on ripped jeans and a tank top and you were going to take me to like a fancy sit down, would you still want to take me?
To a fancy sit down?
Yeah.
I might alter the plan.
Yeah. So
like, hey, let's go hit up a happy hour instead.
Yeah. That first impression of what the heck are you wearing? Same thing happens with home buyers.
Okay.
So yeah, painting the exterior of the house can be a game changer.
So at what point do you need to repaint? Like, if it's been painted in the last 5 years, does it need to be done again?
Well, that's a great question. Let's take those same ripped jeans
and
that same tank top and let's put stains all over it.
Okay.
Now, are you even going to take me out?
Okay.
So if the house is pink, no, that needs to go. If you painted your house pink, that was a bad choice. By the way, purple's my favorite color. If you painted it purple, that was also a bad choice. So it's important to have the right color scheme. So something with the times. White is okay. You might have to what is it called? Power wash it. White, gray, brown, not poop brown. Let's be clear.
Well, there are many shades of poop brown.
Yes. And more like a tan. White, gray, brown. Yeah. I hate to say yellows, but I mean like a cream color. Those are okay too.
Okay.
No blue either. No.
Yeah. Now, a lot of our mobile home communities, the mobile home parks, there's usually a prescribed list of colors. Mm-hmm. Like, you can use these colors. Mm-hmm. Should people contact their park manager before they paint?
Yeah. Because they're going to go by that purple, that pink, that blue. And then the park manager is going to be like, oh, that's not in the color scheme. And then they might have to paint twice. Got
it. Okay. So let's talk about power washing. If it is on the approved list from the park manager, if it is a modern color that sells well and it looks great, it's just dirty, power washing should do the trick?
Yeah.
Okay. So what should someone expect to pay for a power wash? Like $250, $300 if someone else does it?
I have no idea. Probably less than $500. And I feel like that money will go a long way because it makes the outside paint is so important because it's the first impression that the home buyer gets. And so helping them see what's great about the house is it starts the minute they get into the community. And so what happens sometimes is that a home buyer starts immediately judging the book by the cover based on the outside. So if the outside looks dirty and not well kept and needs a paint job, guess what the inside almost likely needs? All of that and maybe more. And so then the home buyer is going, you have that kind of price tag on that house? No thanks, I'm out. And they won't even enter the house. So I think it's power wash or paint goes a long way. And honestly, paint makes such a huge difference that if it's within the budget, just do it.
Got it. For those of you who are in the Peoria, Glendale, Phoenix area in Arizona, I do have great contacts who specialize in power washing. Just send me a message and I can put you in touch with those contractors, those professionals. If you are outside of this area, we do have our network of professionals. Send us a message, be like, hey, I'm in Birmingham. Who do you know who does a power washing? And I can reach out to my network of investors, reach out to my network of contractors, and we can get you in touch with the best person for your situation. Okay, so let's talk about the money for painting the exterior. Typically, for our projects, usually the exterior of a home, we usually do 2 to 3 buckets for the base. So a bucket is like 4.5 gallons. So we usually do about 3 buckets for the exterior. Depending on the quality of the paint you use, are you looking at something that's, a 5 year, 10 year, 15 year? If you're selling the home, do you think it's okay? Is it acceptable to just do a low quality paint as long as it covers well?
I feel like most mobile homes should be painted every 5 years anyways,
I agree.
because it's so hot here, and because I think that the paint just doesn't hold to a mobile home the same way it does like a stucco or a brick. And so I think, yes, I don't get the watered down paint. Like, don't let them water it down. And yet, like, if you only get something that's going to last 5 years, it's okay.
If you want to reach out to me, ask for my paint recommendations. Of course, I'll send that to you. Okay, so the base. Most of the time for the homes that we do, it's not a metal outside, so you can do your typical paints. If it is metal, so specifically for your sheds, your awnings, things like that, you may need to do a DTM. In the paint industry, DTM is direct to metal. So talk to your paint contractors, talk to your paint stores, your reps, and find out for your situation, should you do the investment? Because it is an investment. I would like to say that as an investor, I have great deals with these paint companies, and they give me DTM for cheap. They do not. For a bucket of DTM, I'm usually paying twice as much as I pay for standard. So if I'm paying for a bucket for $120, usually that same quantity I'm going to be spending 240, 250. So usually I get paint about $20 a gallon. As a standard consumer, you can probably get it for $20 to $25 a gallon. But for that DTM, you're looking around $50 per gallon. So in terms of quantity, if you get 3 buckets of paint for your base color, 1 bucket of paint for your accent color, and 1 bucket of paint for your metal applications, your awnings, things like that, you're looking at around $750 before tax. It's under $1,000 investment. Do you believe that if someone invests $1,000 in just materials, this is not labor, if someone invests $1,000 in materials, they'll get that $1,000 back on the sales price?
Yeah, probably more. And I'm so glad you set it up like that, because what I want to say is, if you are not a painter, please do not paint your own house, because it will look like crap. And your $1,000 investment now is going to cost you money, because I'm going to come in and I'm going to be like, what were you thinking? And now my recommendation is going to be to hire a professional to do it. And I think that, so if it's done properly, yes, I think that $1,000 for materials, and I'm going to venture to guess that we spend probably another 2 to 3, depending on how big the mobile is, on somebody painting it. So 100% they're getting a minimum of dollar per dollar, probably more than dollar per dollar, because it's going to make the exterior look so much better. And if it's one of those places where your neighbors don't look as good as you, that helps the neighbors go, oh, I need to get my act together. And
I agree completely. As an investor, I've had many properties. I have never been the one to paint the outside. I have crew members who go in, they specialize in manual labor, specialize in all those things that don't need a contractor's license. So, that your clear out crew, your clean out crew, all those little details, I don't have them paint either. I have professionals paint, people who specialize in this, and they do a much better job, because we've seen properties where you're like, ooh, did you paint this yourself?
Well, and so one other thing I'll say is, you talked about the 3 different colors that are needed. If you just paint one color, it's fine. Like, I think the
So
awning,
instead of a base and an accent color, just doing a base color, the whole thing one color.
yeah, I think it looks a little odd, but I think it'd be better than having really crappy paint. We do the accent colors because I want everything to look pretty, because I know I'm going to drive through the neighborhood later on, and I want to be able to go, oh, I did that, or we did that, whatever. So I think it would be better to have one color that's done well than have multiple colors that are done poorly.
Got it. And I just thought about in the materials cost, when I was talking about the cost of paint, that does not include the cost of tape, cost of plastic, things like that. So be aware that there are those supply costs. Plus, if you're painting yourself, you're going to have to pay for the upfront cost of the paint sprayer. Notice I said paint sprayer. Don't go rolling on exterior paint. If you're rolling on in a bedroom, I get it. But on a home, the exterior of the home, use that sprayer. So instead of investing in that sprayer, invest in the professional that you're going to reach out to. Plus, you're showing love to your local contractors. So once again, if you're in the Arizona area and you need to find a painter, reach out to me. I have a great network of painting professionals that can meet your needs, whatever your needs are. If you're in a situation where you need a licensed contractor, I have plenty of those. If you're in a situation where you don't need a licensed contractor, like if you're going to live in that home, because my understanding is if they live in that home for a certain amount of years, licensed contractors are not required.
I think the rules are different with mobile homes, to be perfectly honest with you. But in residential real estate, like owned property, 2 years.
2 years. So if you plan to live there for 2 years or more, anyone can spray. But if you're purchasing it or if you're doing the project to sell the home or to flip the home, anything like that, there is the expectation and there is the documentation for using licensed contractors. So if you need a painter, whether licensed or not, licensed, bonded, insured or not, maybe it's someone who specializes solely in painting, or maybe someone who does drywall, stucco, painting, all those things. So reach out to me. I can be that great resource to connect you with those contractors. And if you are a contractor and you want to get on our preferred vendor list, reach out to me. I'll gladly add you to our list. Anything else before we send them on their way for the day?
No.
All right. So yes or no? Should people paint the outside?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. This is Nick, that mobile home guy.
And Kesley, that Arizona realtor.
Enjoy an epic day.